that was a pretty wild ride last night, wasn't it? I'm not mad about jumping the gun and posting that as soon as it happened. Not mad at all. That was very exciting and that was a very pivotal moment, and I'm stoked that I got to share that with people. Like, mark my words, that was a real turning point in my life moment, and I'm gonna be looking back on that day. Mark my words. Slept on it, and this morning my brain was just on fire. The ideas were coming thick and fast and flying around, and I could barely keep up. And that also expanded out to a second grand idea that kind of builds on a concept that I've had for ages and didn't know what to do with. And I'm really pumped about that too. I should probably explain. So the other thing that I want to do is, ages and ages ago, I came up with an idea called I wanted to do an Instagram page called the Awesome Drivers Club. And the idea was going to be that it was just all going to be like, this is a few years back, so Instagram wasn't quite the beast that it is these days. And I was going to go for kind of just a page of like inspirational quotes and motivational content, I guess, for driving. There was going to be a cool like illustrative aesthetic to it. Had my concept, but because it was only ever meant to be for Instagram, it never really took off the ground, because I'm someone that, well, I'm now starting to recognize very much that unless something is connected to a much higher purpose, I'm not really going to give it the attention it deserves, and I'm not going to commit to it. And last night was definitely evidence of that, because as the second I connected those llama illustrations to a higher purpose, it was done. I knew then and there that there was no going back, and that I would absolutely commit to this. And then all the ideas that I had this morning, all the connections that I made related to that this morning, they're only solidifying this. So in brief, where my head's at with it now is that it will be a drawing challenge, but it will also incorporate elements of 75 Hard. So essentially, it'll be what I'm doing now, because I'm doing 75 Hard now, but I've also got a few other habits in there, and then drawing llamas every single day is a priority. I would like to, create a drawing challenge that also incorporates all these great habits that are going to make you feel like $1 million as well, and just promote that, and also encourage people to give it a try and see how much it improves their lives, and just see how great it is. I am loving it. But I would modify it a little bit for the art community, I suppose. I wouldn't go as hardcore. Like, I definitely wouldn't touch diet. I don't think I have any business telling anybody what to do with their eating habits. But essentially 75 Hard, incorporating a drawing challenge as well to make it a little bit more interactive. And the cool thing about that is that you'll have a whole community of people all drawing the same character, but in all their different styles. And I realized that would create a llama economy of sorts, because you'd have all these artists doing the llamas. They'd have all this work that would attract bigger audiences and new audiences, and they would have stuff that they could sell, and it would, I'm envisaging that this would turn into a bit of a thing. The other aspect of it is that, so all of this would obviously be done through social media. It would all be, there wouldn't be any paid aspect to it. But I think I could attach a coaching group to this as well, which really excites me. I got a health coaching certification end of last year and haven't done a thing with it because I felt like an absolute fraud and imposter, and I couldn't envisage myself actually coaching anybody. I didn't think that was my business. But this year I've received a lot of coaching myself. And being in the Lion's Den now, I see that there's a lot of value in providing the container itself, and then you don't really need to have all the answers. It's just a matter of sharing everything you know that would be useful to someone on their journey, and then the community aspect of it really elevates it up and really blasts it off, and that's what gets the results. It's the community side of it. And I think there's real potential here. There's a few artists that I follow who I think would be great people to collaborate with this on. That really excites me too, like the potential of maybe doing podcasts with them, or perhaps bringing them into the coaching group at some point. So some people that I'm thinking of include Lee Ellickson, Drink Water, yes indeed, Wizard of Barge. He seems to have a bit of a health and fitness thing going on in the background, but also his positive thinking stuff that he injects into his illustrations is fantastic. And then Struthless is the other one. And Struthless actually gave me a little bit more inspiration this morning, because I remembered his video that he made talking about the best piece of advice that he ever got. And that advice was, so at the time, I believe he was saying he was feeling quite scattered. He had like all these different things that he was pursuing creatively, art and music and writing and all this other stuff, and wasn't really getting anywhere with any of it. And at the time he was interning for a really big deal, big shot artist. And I think that it was the artist and his wife. And all their works were this one dog, I want to say. Maybe it was a rabbit. Something with long ears and a snout. Yeah, and their entire career was sort of based off this one, let's go with rabbit, but just in different styles every single time. And what the artist he was interning for, the advice he gave was to just pick one thing. Like he was saying, you know, you're all over the place. You're not doing anything properly if you're pursuing all these different things. You know, everything's only getting a tiny bit of your effort. So if you just pick the one thing and you just draw that one thing over and over and over and over again every single day, eventually you're gonna figure out what your actual passion is. Sorry, I missed the whole point. The point was that he couldn't figure out what his passion was, and this was the advice that he got. Draw the same thing every single day and you will figure out your passion eventually. You'll figure out what to do with it. And he picked emus or ostriches or something, and yeah, I think it was emus. Got stuck into drawing those every day, and then it took on a life of its own, as these things tend to do. And that was when he realized that actually he also really liked this personal development stuff, because he was injecting that into his emu drawings, and eventually the personal development work was the more crucial aspect. But he wouldn't have come to the personal development stuff without drawing the emus over and over and over again. And that is the value, I think, in my 75 llama, is that that's basically what llama was for me. I was in a bit of a rut creatively. I remember when I started drawing her, I was a bit stuck. I'd just finished uni and was really burnt out and just wasn't having much luck finding what to draw. And this little llama came to me one day, and she was supposed to be a representation of me. My nickname is Llama. I remember one of the very, very first ones I drew. It was my first day at Leo Burnett, the big international creative agency, and I was really proud of myself, and I really wanted to share it with all my friends on the grams. But what do I share? So I just drew a little llama holding a pencil, big pencil that said Leo Burnett. I was like, it's my first day. And looking back at that, like, it was so janky and underdeveloped compared to what I draw now, but I just started drawing that thing constantly in so many different scenarios, and eventually it took on a life of its own, and people were getting involved in it, and I didn't have to think anymore. Like, the llama was this she just made it easy to get started. Like, it was like almost like I could stop thinking about what exactly, and then I could just focus on in enhancing and adding flourishes. That's not right. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I also realized that llama is a bit of a symbol, and there's great meaning in her that could be highlighted for a drawing challenge such as this. So one aspect is that she represents the power of repetition, the power of small habits repeated consistently over time, and what can blossom out of that. The other thing is that it's a simplicity of focus. So one character, she's very simple. You can see the head in my profile picture. Like, she's very simple, but that's what the focus is on, and then that allows you to expand a lot more easily, and the complicated things can come next, but the simple focus is there. It's like an anchor that you can work around, and I think that's pretty powerful. And I think I know not everybody has their thing, you know, so I think this could be really useful to any artists and illustrators that just want to shake things up a little bit, or yeah, great challenge for anybody learning. I don't know, there's all sorts of applications, and I just genuinely am so excited about the idea of also incorporating personal development and health and fitness around this whole thing, because that's ultimately my biggest passion, is health and wellness. Oh, someone's come outside to distract me. How dare you? Where was I? Shit. Gal can't get any privacy around here. Sorry. Yeah, so then the other side of it is that something clicked also last night, that I don't want to grow an audience that's never actually felt good to me. I don't want to be some sort of, I don't want to grow an audience. I'm not collecting fans. But community is great, and I realized that the second that I switch my thinking from growing an audience to building a community, that feels good. That feels good. Well, growing a community feels even better, actually, because then I can kind of relate it to some sort of gardening memes. Memes? Sorry, that Alex coming out just then completely rattled me. Oh, Rocket's in here too, he's trying to get out. 2 seconds. So growing a community, that feels really good, and that's something that I would love to work towards. I think the idea of growing an audience, growing a following, feels a bit cringy to me, but community, that's good. That's wholesome and positive and much needed in the world, and I can see how there's potential for it to spread out. So as each person participating in there is empowered themselves, they can go off and form their own kind of communities. And what a beautiful ripple effect that is, having empowered creatives out in the world creating more and inspiring others, because it's not too bad in the industry. Like, it's not like the music industry where it's inherently difficult to stay healthy. Like, I know plenty of illustrators and designers and stuff that are well into their health and fitness, but nonetheless, just society as a whole could use more of this messaging, and I do believe that I have a good spin to put on it and something to offer. And I have llamas. Llamas for all. Could be the Oprah of llamas. Now, I do want to give this my best shot. So yeah, I jumped the gun a little bit with that video last night. Realistically, it's actually gonna be a little while before anyone sees anything about this. I had a bit more of a think about it, and I do want to do it properly. I have a few weeks off work coming up, and I know I'm gonna cram a lot into that. But I think the main priority now, nobody even knows who this llama is. Nobody has any attachment to her, or it's nothing special yet. It's nothing that'll draw people in just yet. So my main priority is to create as many of these little characters that I can put out into the world and grow the community in the process. And when the time is right, boom, coaching group and 75 llama and who knows what else. I'm very excited. I already know what the logo is going to look like, because of course I do, because what designer doesn't think about their logo before anything else? But it's going to be good, it's going to be big, and I'm so stoked. It genuinely last night just felt like all these puzzle pieces that I'd been collecting over the years just smushed together and formed the most beautiful scene. I get to make llama puzzles. Hell yeah! I'm buzzing. I've been buzzing all day. It's just the best ever feeling to find that, the thing. I've been looking for so long. And I mean actively looking. I always knew I knew there was something bubbling away, and I was definitely getting a little bit impatient. I just turned 31 this month, and I thought, if I haven't found it yet, when on earth am I gonna find it? Time's a wasting, and there it is. And you know what? I owe an enormous amount to that Four Agreements book. I was not joking when I said that changed my life. I did not wake up as the same person the next morning after I read that book. And that glow has remained, which is rare, isn't it? It's rare to keep that feeling alive and going into future days, but it's only kept going. It's like my brain's just lit up with possibilities for the future, and I am very, 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 very excited. Have I said I'm excited already? I probably have. I probably will again. I'm excited!